How's everything going, guys? Welcome to another video here. I am ACA Guenter. Welcome to the third reaction video of this week. Hope you guys are having a great Saturday afternoon, evening, whenever you guys are watching this. So today we're going to be watching this video here. So today it is Scott's video on a developer's first game. Alright? As of me recording this video, which is about a week before, so I'm dating the video a little bit. This is the newest video he has released. Okay. So let me know, guys, what you've been up to today. Have you had a good day or not? Have you been up to anything? Let me know in the comments below what you've been up to. I'm hoping to get this video done quick because the day I'm recording this, in about just over 2 hours time, I've got a 9 to 5 shift at work. I'm recording this at 10 to 7 in the morning. I'm recording this because my wife and son are about to go to daycare for the day, and my wife's got work herself. So I've got to do that today. I've got a long shift today at work. I can't be bothered, but I need the money. Like, ever since I reset my YouTube channel, I don't make money on YouTube anymore. Basically, don't really make anything anymore. So anyway, enough about me, so we're going to get on with this video here. Is a developer's first game by Scott Laws. 3, 2, 1. Let's go, Wazza.
Hey y'all, Scott here. I just got back from my very first teaching gig at Low Aspirations High. I taught the class on developers' first video games. Here, I have a recording of my performance. We can watch it back and I can perfect my teaching skills. Seems such a good teacher. What I'm learning from Mr. Wozniak here is crying is not an effective teaching tool.
Babies, children, preteens, they're our future.
Thank God my future's their problem now.
When you're a dad, you think, oh God, what's my, when you're a dad like me, you think in your head, oh, what's my son's future? Do you know what I mean? And right now, with certain aspects in living in Britain right now, it's not looking good. Like, for example, house prices. For example, on average, then my parents and grandparents, house prices in Britain are 7 times higher. Wages have gone up 3 times, so wages on average have gone up. I think wages have gone up 2 or 3 times, but house prices have gone up like 7. So it's not sustainable anymore. So yeah.
It's all about their experiences in these precious formative years that'll help define them as they grow. I know everything I am today can be traced back to the awakening. And hey, the same can be said about video game developers. That's right, we're not so different, you and I. It's pretty easy for a studio to get labeled as the insert game franchise or genre here team. Like, oh yeah, tell me, what does Sonic team make?
That's true. They also made Billy Hatcher as well. And Nights into Dreams. It's because Sega wanted to... Oh yeah, they did, what's that game on the Saturn? Burning Rangers. They did Burning Rangers as well. Yeah, Sonic team is not afraid to branch out.
Oh, but many a time a developer's first game is the farthest...
Yeah, Activision's first game was Dragster. What was it? I think Nintendo's... I can't remember the name of it. It's a space game. I think Nintendo's was a space game, I believe.
Thing from what you'd expect from them. Like Capcom, you know, Resident Evil ass, Monster Hunter ass, Street Fighter ass, Capcom. What was their first game? Vulgus.
Any metal cut to size in just a few clicks. Visit metalsupermarkets.co.uk.
My name is Latifa Thompson Lowe. I'm 39. I've been with Juniper
Yeah,
for 4 months, and I have lost.
Yeah, I'm getting weird ads again. I'm getting ads for Bloody Love Honey again. So, yeah, what was Nintendo? I'm pretty sure Nintendo's first game was like a space shooter.
Yeah, Vulgus. Remember Vulgus? Vulgus.
Vulgus. I'm sorry, sir. We need to have a talk to you. I'm afraid your wife's got vulgus. She needs to wear a bag on her head. Oh god, that's harsh. Sorry.
Yeah! Vulgus! Well, come on. You did some things when you were a kid you wouldn't do nowadays, like shit your pants. As different as some first projects can be to subsequent ones, you can almost always pick out the seeds getting planted with them. How these studios would later become who they are today. How childhood trauma defines us all.
Yeah, I like the fact that he's put a asterisk next to Ray's name there, because at the time, Ray's name wasn't Ray, it was Ultimate Play the Game.
When I was a kid, I pissed myself at the circus, and now I talk about developers' first games. Game Freak, the developers of Pokemon and Mendel Palace. Yeah, their very first video game, Mendel Palace for the NES. Really gives off that 19 games later they'd make Pokemon Diamond and Pearl sort of vibe. You know, as much as Game Freak is the Pokemon studio, they've definitely cranked out a large variety of other releases.
Yeah, oh, Tembo the Badass Elephant is another one of their games.
Especially in their early years. So something not Pokemon being their first game isn't surprising. The fact it's a game called goddamn Mendel Palace is. Listen man, I was aware of a handful of early Game Freak titles. The Pulse Man, Mario and Wario, hell, Yoshi for NES. I thought this was their first game. But no, it's video game I've never heard of, the video game. So what is this? A puzzle game where you have to clear the screen of enemies by flipping panels over? Can you tell these are the guys who went on to make Pokemon Quest? To be honest, I do feel these character sprites have a bit of Pokemon energy to them. But would I really be saying that if I didn't know this was made by Game Freak?
Yeah, kinda,
it's like
yeah.
If I look at Skate or Die and say, yeah, this is giving me some big Madden 16 vibes. And like, oh, son of a bitch, when you know it's made by the same guys. Electronic Arts' first game was Skate or Die on
the Commodore 64. No, was it? Was it their first game? Pretty sure it wasn't. I think they had another one, I think.
Commodore 64. Stardom Young. This was a pretty iconic game of its era. I mean, loads of players owned it on NES. It's fairly well known. Like Mussolini's well known. Doesn't mean a damn thing. This game's rancid. It's a minigame collection where each game's controls are either cumbersome, unintelligible, painful, or all of the above. You see everything there is to see in 5 minutes. Why the hell was this game so popular in the 80s? Cause skateboarding was cool?
No, it was because there wasn't really that many skateboarding games. The skateboarding, yeah, in the 80s was popular, so was BMXing. And they were both very popular to a point where, was there any skateboarding films in the 80s? I know there was this is because I watched a Nostalgia Credit years ago. There's one called Rad, which was on BMX biking. That was released in the 80s. So, yeah, remember that.
It goes to show you can make it big doing anything as long as you're in the know.
Literally.
See? Now this right here is the NES version of Skate or Die, which was actually an adaptation of EA's Commodore version by Konami, whose first game released a full decade prior. From the arcades in 1977, this is Blockyard. What does it look like? Well, you ever close your eyes? You've seen Blockyard. Yeah, Konami's first video game has like no information about it anywhere. The only thing we're certain of is that it was a clone of Breakout, just like most of their early titles. One of the biggest, most renowned video game developers of all time got their start pumping out nothing but clones. Here's Space King, and here's A Court Date. Konami really does show. If you don't know what to do, steal some shit. Much like Bungie's first game, Gnop. It's Pong. And they thought they were being clever. You know, a plagiarist calling card is to spell what they're stealing from backwards. Go ahead and try to steal Bob, bitch. But most of these examples given...
So their first game was basically a Pong clone on the Mac. Makes sense, because Halo Combat Evolved was originally supposed to be a Mac game. But then Microsoft bought a license, and then they turned it to an Xbox exclusive, and the rest is history.
They're practically student projects, can barely link them to future releases. But Bungie wasn't concerned about giving Gnop that classic Bungie funk, they were concerned about making a game that ran at all.
Another advert. Yeah. better mute that because I know that's copyrighted music. That's probably just got claimed. Yeah, I've been getting now, and now there's Spotify. So, yeah. Whenever I get an advert, so we're already, 5 minutes in, I've had 4 adverts already. Because I know YouTube have announced that starting from this week, they're bumping up the amount of adverts you're going to see on videos. They're bumping them up.
Okay, welcome class to Developers First Video Games 101. The goal of this class? To never use this number ever again.
Yeah, I don't get that in America. Like when you, oh, welcome to this class, it's 101 this, 101 that. We never got that in school. Like, it's never, today we're going to learn about so-and-so at 101. Here it's level 1, level 2, level 3. We just say it as it is.
When I'm done with you, you're gonna know what Next Level Games' first release is.
Oh, NHL Hits is banging.
Let's take a look at some more modern first releases, like Rocksteady's, the makers of nothing but games in the Batman Arkham franchise, and Urban Chaos. Urban Chaos Riot Response was Rocksteady's first release back in 2006, a first-person shooter where you play as police officers combating a damn apocalypse of criminals. Batman. Hey, somebody must have done that. How else does this developer go the rest of their life doing nothing but? Yeah, these guys, they'll make a good Batman game. Okay, sure, good call on that. But what about other developers that started out on a...
Oh yeah, I love the Batman Arkham trilogy, man. I think they're an amazing set of games. I cannot wait for the 4th one. I don't include VR on this one because VR is a pile of garbage. Arkham Shadow.
completely different note. Well, my mind immediately goes to one Hello Games, makers of No Man's Sky, advertised as one of the most expansive open world experiences in all of gaming. One where you can travel throughout space and discover an endless amount of planets and creatures, promising to be a landmark video game with its ambitions and innovation. Their first game was Joe fucking Danger. These guys are gonna make the most impressive game ever? Well, joke's on you, they already did. It's called Joe fucking Danger. These are honestly pretty difficult games to link to their developers' future works, but it does show how anybody can do anything. Anything. But then there's Sucker Punch, the PlayStation exclusive developers famous for getting their start with Sly Cooper. I just lied. From the Nintendo 64, this is Rocket Robot on Wheels. Strange to see a Sony-owned studio's origins over where the sun don't shine, but that shouldn't stop you from checking this one out. This game feels like it's a generation above what else was coming out at the time.
Yeah, I believe, if I remember correctly, if my history serves me correct, I'm pretty sure that Nitro had done a video on that, and he said this game's actually really decent, and Scott's agreed. Apparently it's a decent game, this.
You are Rocket Robot on Wheels. Maybe that's why this game didn't do well, because anybody who reads the title goes to hell for lying. Robot only has one ass wheel. Excuse me, but I prefer to play games that don't betray my trust. Oh boy, whiskey. This is a Sucker Punch game through and through. I mean, Rocket is so damn smooth to control. There's such a unique rhythm to the way you traverse the environment, much like the team's future releases. Hell, you can draw so many more parallels if you want to. Which, as far as PlayStation Studios go, this is about as good as we're gonna get, because most of these developers end up in a completely different place to where they started. San Diego Studio, they primarily make PlayStation sports games like MLB The Show. Marca Cree, that's where they started. I mean, yeah, that's basically a bat. Naughty Dog had a long history before they hit us with...
Oh, Naughty Dog's first game, it was... Oh, fucking I know this. It's gonna bug me, I guarantee I think I know it.
The Crash Bandicoots, Jak and Daxters, Uncharted's, and Last of Us's. And it all started in 1985 with the game Math Jam.
No, I didn't know it. I thought I'd know it. No, don't know it. That's surprising.
They ripped off Block
backyard.
Yeah, Naughty Dog's first game is completely lost, which is a damn shame for one of the most prolific developers in the whole industry. Like, who knows what their origins look like? Well, judging by their second game ever released. This, but with numbers. Guerrilla Games of the Killzone and Horizon franchises started out as Lost Boys Games with their debut release, Tiny Toon Adventures Dizzy's Candy Quest for the Game Boy Color. You can always tell a Guerrilla game by its use of Dizzy from Tiny Toons. They've been f***ing up for a while. And Insomniac Games kicked things off with Disruptor on the original PlayStation. Basically a solid Doom wannabe, which I've always viewed Insomniac as a developer who values fun and action above everything, alongside an incredibly varied game I'm
literally looking at their games now. The only games I've played of theirs are Spyro. And, I've played Fuse. And Sunset Overdrive. That's it.
So this, as their first game, I've seen crazier. What? Hey, I'm of the opinion that greatness can come from any team of developers. Mostly comes down to a project's direction. And just because your first game
that game is just showing there. High Five Rush is amazing. Ever get an opportunity, guys? Game's dirt cheap right now. Pick it up. It's a great game.
Columbo's Mystery Capers doesn't mean you can't make a Bubsy 3D later, and then maybe a day's gone. That's Sony's Bend Studio for ya. How inspiring. I learned today I too can conceive horrific gremlin children of inconsistent.
So the studio. So let me hear this. So the studio, right, that created Days Gone are the same developers as Bubsy 3D. I did not know that.
Quality. All decades apart. That's what you're getting from this, right?
Never knew teaching was a BYOA. Sega's first video game was Pongtron in 1973. It was a clone of, you guessed it, not Brink. However, if you go even further back, if you consider...
Of all the games you can bring up, Scott, you bring up Brink. I think my wife, I think we've actually got like a handful of PS3 games in my cupboards, in storage, and I'm pretty sure one of them's Brink.
Projector-based arcade machines to be video games. What side of history are you on? Sega released Duck Hunt in 1968, an arcade game where you shoot projections of ducks. Nintendo later adapted this concept into a toy in 1976, which they then turned into their NES game Duck Hunt in 1985. So Duck Hunt was derived from Sega. Or the desire to murder geese. Rockstar Games owns a bunch of different development studios, most notably Rockstar North, which was originally known as DMA Design, whose first game was Menace in 1988. Which, see, most of Rockstar studios are like this. Originally something else entirely until Rockstar bought and rebranded them as their own, which makes for some awesome icebreakers. Did you know Rockstar Lead's first game was Alfred Chicken for Game Boy Color? Did you also know that was the awesome icebreaker? Telltale Games, known for their episodic...
Yeah, the one that lives where I live, there's actually a Rockstar studio near me called Rockstar Lincoln. And they mainly do game testing and localization. I think they're actually, at the moment, what I've heard, they're currently doing game testing at the moment for parts of GTA 6. I've heard. Yeah. Because there's actually last time I checked, there's actually a job going there as a game tester. I wonder what game they're testing.
Point-and-click adventure games, their first game was poker. Telltale Texas Hold'em. You know, they actually kept their legacy alive for a bit longer with 2 more poker games throughout the years. It's so heartwarming to see Telltale continue to push gambling, all because it was in their blood. So let that be a lesson to you. No matter what, keep your family's traditions alive. It's exactly what my great uncle Jack the Ripper, second cousin Vlad the Impaler, and stepfather Gonzo would have wanted. Now, based on all of this, you must use deduction and reasoning to decipher what Namco's first game was. If you answer GB, you're not wrong. You're fucking weird.
Look at this. Polyphony Digital proves that just because you make nothing but racing games doesn't mean you can start doing exactly that. The makers of Gran Turismo got their start with Motor Toon Grand Prix on PlayStation. They made 2 of these things and then lost all sense of joy. Well, in actuality, Gran Turismo was originally what the developer wanted to make first, but the idea of a simulation racer wasn't as commonplace as it is these days, so...
Oh, so the thought that let's do a quirky little racing game to try and get our foot in the door when it comes to racing games, and then we'll do a serious one. Okay. I think that's pretty clever, don't you agree? I have played Gran Turismo. The only one I've played was it 4 on the PlayStation 2? It comes in a white case. It's all white with just a car on the front. I think it's that one.
They made this to prove their worth as a goofy-looking Mario Kart style game seemed like a safer commercial bet.
With Virgin Media, get smooth, lightning fast, and
all I'm getting are unskippable ads.
Hopefully that's out of 60. They didn't even want to make this game in the first place. They made this because they felt bad they couldn't make Gran Turismo. These are pity tunes. Even though this game didn't do all too well and only released in Japan, they really tried with the sequel, Motor Toon Grand Prix. Thus, after the second game's success, they were finally able to make what they always wanted to make. So, thank you, Motor Toon Grand Prix. F*** off. This is what I like to call a sacrificial lamb. Hey, sometimes you gotta do work you don't want to do. It pays the bills. You may start out just doing cars for Wii, but someday you may finally get to do what you always wanted. Cars Mater National Championship for Wii. And die. THQ's first game was Peter Pan and the Pirates on NES, which was a necessary step to take in order to finally be able to make Rugrats in Paris 10 years later.
Rugrats in Paris, the movie, the game. I do not remember that. Like when it comes with gaming in general, I do have a small blind spot, which is sorry, it's 1999 2000. 1999 2000 I've got a little bit of a blind spot there, and 2001. But I have been learning a lot more in that era. It was just that era was just a transitional period from PS1 to PS2, N64 to GameCube, and then Xbox coming in.
Their true calling. Sometimes the opposite happens, like Blitz Games. Their first release was Firo and Claude. Well, that was a damn mistake. Became the de facto licensed kids game developer afterwards, before dying shortly after releasing Shrek Alarm. Yeah, that's how I want to go. Alright, to be fair, Blitz Game did put out a few more original games throughout the years.
Yeah.
Hey, original doesn't mean good. Ubisoft's first game always fascinated me, considering it's zombie. Yes, that's zombie without a mutilated bee. This released back in 1986, with the game Zombie U launching in 2012. And I don't think many noticed that this is fundamentally a reboot of their first release ever. Still don't believe me? Well, here's the PS4 release. Bam! Still can't spell. There's a lot more similarities between these games than you may.
I will admit that is pretty fucking cool. That it's like that Zombie is literally just a homage to their first game that they ever made, which is that's pretty cool by Ubisoft, to be fair.
They initially think. Like your player characters dying, dropping their items, and coming back as a zombie, which was seen as such a cool, unique, and completely original element of Zombie U. Did you know you can plagiarize yourself? Hey, original doesn't mean good. Ubisoft had some respect for their roots, as obscure as they may have been, which is oftentimes rare to see. I mean, how much do we see Bethesda talk about their beloved first release, Gridiron? And I gotta be honest, I think they should. This helped form the Madden franchise. Inspiration can come from the damnedest places. I was looking at pig shit one day and thought, I can do better. Dog shit. I had such advanced physics for the time.
I can't believe that Bethesda's first game was basically a Madden game, to be honest. I know they're doing a film on Madden, aren't they? Nicolas Cage is playing John Madden. Yeah, I never had, in the UK, no one knew who Madden was until those games came out.
No, I have not been drinking, so Electronic Arts made a deal with Bethesda asking them to create a John Madden football video game for them, while EA would help support Gridiron with multi-platform releases and promotion. EA barely held up their end of the bargain, and Bethesda sued them, believing they just wanted to understand the inner workings of Gridiron to make Madden better. Okay, I'll start now. Now, do we get that classic Bethesda feel here? Like, oh, can we see the origins of the Elder Scrolls? Bunny, we'd be lucky to see the origins of Where's F***ing Waldo for NES. This is a historic first game. It feels like it just so happens to be developed by Bethesda. But hey, some developers know what they're about from the get-go. Valve's first game?
Half-Life.
Okay. It's like, yeah, the franchise they're best known for.
Of course it's Half-Life. And now they don't really need to make games anymore because they make so much money from fucking Steam, it's unreal. And everybody knows that I know, when it comes with PC, when it comes with game launches, Steam is the best by a fucking mile. Because whenever you play a game on Steam, it just fucking works. Whenever you try and use one of the other ones, especially Ubisoft and EA, it's a janky mess.
Why wouldn't that be their first release? Vulgus.
Oddworld Inhabitants' first game was...
Was it Oddworld?
Oddworld. Tetris Online Inc. A Tetris game. I was expecting Oddworld. Atlas's first game was...
Persona?
Toe Jam and...
Oh yeah, Toe Jam and... Fucking Toe Jam and Earl? I did not know that.
Sorry, I get these two confused all the time. Not Toe Jam and Earl. Ginga Dinsho Galaxy Odyssey. Toe Jam and Earl Productions' first game was Toe Jam and Earl. Atlas is just my pet name for them. Toys for Bob's first game had nothing to do with their name. It took them 21 years to put out the Skylanders franchise, which actually incorporated a core part of their name into a video game. So for that whole time, everybody was asking, who the f*** is Bob?
This is all just basic trivia, if anything, because at the end of the day, the first game often doesn't define these studios. It's for sure interesting to see where many have started, especially when some of these releases are so primitive. It shows how we all start somewhere. But many development teams are exactly that. Teams. They're comprised of multiple people with multiple talents. Plus, people come and go throughout the years. So, as wacky as it is, the team who got their feet wet with Daxter for PSP ended up doing this. I mean, it's not that crazy. Did you really think this was all they were capable of? My god, they could never make a game with blood in it. Wait a second, that makes no sense. They draw ferrets, not the Second Amendment.
Yeah, I remember when my mate got a PS4, he was so hyped about the Order 1886 that I turned around and went, it's me, mate. And literally, I was speaking to him on the Friday. By the Monday, he went, I've already finished it. He finished it on the Saturday, so the game's like 6 hours long.
You're never boxed into any particular thing creatively, as much as it may feel like it sometimes. I believe anybody can spread their wings and create the goriest imagery imaginable, even if their first game was Art Academy. It's almost always a treat to see where some of your favorite artists got their start. Almost. What the hell was Nintendo's first game? EVR Race? A horse racing betting game. You bet who will win. Then a random video will play on the screen and that's it. I don't know how this is really considered a video game. I mean, okay, sure. There is video, there is game, but don't you dare. EVR Race is considered lost. Now, any surviving elements of the thing found, they barely work. So it's not like you can experience it. Actually, you at home, you can. Google horse racing videos and concern your housemates. That one's gonna win. Nintendo themselves consider this to be their first video game. So who am I to say otherwise? Scott, their laser clay shooting system back in 1973 is more video game than this. An arcade shooting gallery. Your targets appear via a projector. What, cause it's not on a screen? It doesn't count? This is just playing horse videos.
And does that make for an actual video game? Honestly, if that is considered Nintendo's first game, this is considered mine. Look, there's video, and this is my game. I'm not a fucking teacher.
Yeah, so here are my notes to improve next time. Be a teacher.
What happened?
She hit someone with her car.
Sounds like some sort of horror film. So, right, guys. Yeah, that was actually, I actually learned a couple of things on that video actually about that, to be honest. So, let me know, guys, in the comments below if you've enjoyed this video. I'll be back next Tuesday with another reaction video, I think, next Tuesday. Hopefully you guys have a good weekend. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll try to. I don't know what I'm saying. I've actually got the day off work today. When you guys see this, I'm actually off work. But when I'm recording this, I've got work. It's weird. So, hopefully you guys have a good one. Look after yourselves and take care. And I'll see you guys on my next video. Peace out. Have a good one. See you in a bit. Love you all. Bye bye.